Welcome back to Growth Over Easy. We're continuing our series on patterns that I see showing up in relationships that really tank the communication and the connection. And today we're talking about the takeover. So what does the takeover look like? I want you to think about a conversation that starts small. And then suddenly maybe there's a comment made, a tone shift, something lands wrong, and you find yourself really getting into it. And you start to raise your voice. You start making your point harder. You find yourself pushing because you need this point to be resolved. You need your partner to understand you. You need them to see your side of things. And the takeover really comes with a deep feeling of urgency. Like, I have to do this now. This has to get resolved now. But if you're experiencing this takeover feeling, there's no regulation on board. You're searching for resolve, but you're doing it from a very activated place. And what's going on when we look at your nervous system is you're in this state of fight. You're in sympathetic charge. And sometimes it can be that you're fighting to be right. You're fighting to get your point across. But there's not a lot of wise adult driving the car right now. This is that younger part of you coming out. And a lot of times people that experience this feeling of the takeover grew up in a home where they learned early on that in order to get my needs met, I've got to get loud. I've got to throw a fit. I've got to scream. I've got to make noise. It's the only way someone's going to hear me. Or it's what they saw modeled for them. It's what their parents did. Their parents had these loud, volatile fights. And that's how there was some sort of, in air quotes, I say repair in their parents' relationship. And so if you're someone who experiences this urgency, this fight response, when you blow your window of tolerance during a conflict, you may find yourself doing things like interrupting before your partner finishes their sentence, repeating yourself louder, finding yourself needing a feeling of resolution in order to be able to calm down, feeling like if I could just explain myself one more time, they'll finally get it. And the harder you push, the more they pull away. And the more they pull away, the harder you push, and the cycle continues. So when this sympathetic activation is happening in your system and you're coming at your partner from this place of urgency, they're likely going to do one of two things. They're going to pull away, withdraw, like I just mentioned, or they may get defensive themselves and they may go on the attack. And then the fight continues to escalate from there. And this feeling of urgency that comes with this takeover, it's not weakness, it's not immaturity. It's your nervous system doing what it learned to do when you were little. And when you're feeling this on the inside, what you're likely craving is connection. You're craving resolve. But your partner's not going to experience your urgency as love. They're going to experience it as an attack, as pressure, as a lack of safety. So if they withdraw, shut down, or get defensive and you get triggered more, it just keeps upping the ante in the relationship. This is often where I see people, I call it sandwiching conflict, where there will be an issue on the table, and instead of dealing with what's on the table, we throw another thing on the table. And then we throw another issue on the table. Because what we're trying to do is win. We're trying to resolve something that's coming up for us. So what do you do? What do you do if this feeling of the takeover is a losing pattern that you experience in your own relationship? Well, just like with the shutdown, and you're going to find me repeat myself on this as we go through these, you're going to take a break. I'm a big fan of taking a break because it gives you the opportunity to do something with the response in your nervous system, ground yourself, and then come back into the conversation with your frontal lobe fully online, ready to have a conversation instead of get back into the conflict. So in this break, if you're having this experience of urgency, of fight in your system, I want you to try one of two things, a wall push or a towel pull. So a wall push is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to put your palms up against the wall. You're going to stagger your feet, and your palms are about shoulder height. And I want you to push as hard as you can. Your body will let you know when you're ready to stop. But I want you to press against the wall and give that fight response in your system the opportunity to discharge. You can also do this exercise with a towel pull. You can hold a kitchen towel between your hands, your fists up in front of you, pull it apart as hard as you can. Again, notice when you're ready to stop and allow your body to stop when it wants to, but you're giving that fight somewhere to go. Little caveat, if you're a strong person, don't push against drywall. Find a nice sturdy wall if you do the wall push. And then after we do this, after we discharge, I want you to do something grounding. For some of my clients, that is simply sitting down and noticing their butt in the seat underneath them or noticing their feet on the floor. If you find yourself still feeling activated, it might be going for a slow walk. And then when you're ready, sitting down and again, noticing that seat underneath you. Because what we're doing when the takeover is happening and we're using this break, this opportunity to ground ourselves is again, we're giving the fight somewhere to go, the wall push or the towel pull, and then we're coming back down. We're giving our nervous system access to safety. It might feel good for you to take a few slow breaths when you notice yourself in your seat or you notice your feet on the floor. And again, as I said in the last episode, when it comes to taking a break, telling your partner, I need a break, telling them how long you'll be gone, I need 15 minutes, and then coming back when that time has elapsed. If you still need more time, tell them that. Like, hey, I actually still need some more time. Let's meet back in 15 more minutes. The reason you're doing this is because if you're in a relationship with someone who also pursues, with someone who has maybe experienced the feeling of being abandoned when they were younger, we want to create safety when taking a break. And that's why you let them know when you'll be back and you come back when you say you'll be back. Otherwise, we can get into conflict that is left so open-ended, it's never resolved, or even if it eventually gets resolved, you're leaving your partner in this really uncomfortable state if they're someone who has felt abandoned in the past. So we want to put that parameter around taking a break. And remember, all of these things I'm going over, the shutdown, the takeover, these are not character flaws. It's a nervous system pattern that learned that connection is urgent, that it is fragile, and that we must deal with things immediately or the connection will be taken away from us. And the thing about long-term love is long-term love and urgency cannot live in the same relationship. It does not work. If you are someone who's going to be driven by urgency, then the wherewithal it takes to be in a long-term relationship is going to feel impossible because you're always going to be in this chronic state of activation. So if this is you, you're like, Lily, I experienced the takeover, or maybe you experienced the shutdown and you want some more resources. First off, there's a link in the show notes where you can go and download all 5 of these. So you can just look at them on one page. It might be 2 pages actually, but you can look at them and see which one do I fall into? Which pattern do I find showing up in my relationship? And 2, if this is something that you're dealing with and you're ready to stop, maybe you and your partner or just you as an individual want to work on this, go ahead and click the link in the show notes to book a call with me. And let's see if this type of work that I do can be helpful for you. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I hope you choose growth.
If you enjoyed this episode and you're a fan of the show, please subscribe and leave us a review. If you'd like to connect, you can join me over on Substack or follow me on Instagram @LilyRachels. Let's build love that grows.